is experiential. And so this is going to be a very experiential session. I decided, or I realized at some point, that my life is experiential. And so this is going to be a very experiential session. And I hope that I'm looking through the chat. So yes, keep it coming, keep it coming. I'm relying on all your on all your conversations in the chat to give me the vibes and to know that I'm speaking to people and they can hear me. So life as we know it now is about experiences. And even in the period of COVID-19, it was all about trying to adjust to the new normal and to create experiences with what we had at our disposal at that time. So it's very important that whatever you do and with whomever you come across, you have to leave a mark. For example, someone already commented about my hats. You can't forget my red hat in a long time. And even if you forget my hat or you mistake my hat with Onye's hat, you know that I was the guy that wore an Adire shirt on top as a jacket. So you have to, in any way you can, find a way to leave a mark, something that people can identify you with and identify you for. And in this case, we're talking about creating lasting experiences at events. Now, a lot of people feel like, oh my gosh, events are so amazing. You just come on that and you see all the glam, you see all the beautiful things, and you're like, I want to be an event planner. But not a lot of people understand the rudiments of being a professional event planner. Now, in our time, we live in a completely different time. Times have changed. When event planning started, a lot of people used to see event planners as their house help or their assistant or somebody that they can send on errand for the wedding, that you will send, go to the market and check how much is bag of rice, and we'll come back and tell you, madam, bag of rice is 12,000 naira. No. Event planning is a profession. And until you realize that you are a professional and start acting like one, you keep getting the same feeling, the same vibe from people over and over and over again. You know, so you have to, it starts with how you have to purge your mentality of what you thought your role as an event planner was, and start realizing that I'm a professional the way a banker is a professional, the way an engineer is a professional. You are a professional as an event planner, and until you start showing up like one, you will never be taken serious. So you need to put yourself in that position, and you need to get into character as a professional event planner. And in planning events, we have come over the years to realize that there are different phases of events production. Now, the first phase is the planning phase. This is the phase that starts with the consultation, that first phone call, the first meeting, how you introduce yourself, how you introduce your business, how you present yourself. And even from that first phone call, the tone of your voice, how articulate you were. And in your first meeting, how punctual you were to your meeting, how good you looked, how you smelled nice, your etiquette. Those are the things that set you apart. And those are the things that people will say, oh, I met with 7 event planners, but that guy that came with the nice, that had the nice cologne, or that guy that came with the nice hat, or that lady that came with the fancy bag, or that lady that spoke very well, very eloquent. You know, you need to be able to have, create an impression, even by just a phone call or just meeting someone for the first time, you know, and also how you introduce your business. making the client see that you run a business. A lot of people feel that is it not just you, event planner? You will just call your ushers, all of you will come together, you will do the event. No, you need to make people know that you run a proper company. First of all, by making sure that your business is registered, because nobody will take you serious in this time and in this day and time if your business is not registered. If your client is asking you to send an invoice with an account number for them to make a deposit and you're sending your personal accounts, for me, that's already a turn off, even as a person. If you're a business and you're still sending your personal accounts, you need to check that. So it's very important that you have everything ticked and ready. And so in explaining what the type of business you run is, your team members, and the roles and the value that your team members are bringing to the table, it's very important that you have all of that spelled out. Your work process, walking them through how exciting the process of planning an event is, because a lot of people feel that, event planning is stressful, it's this, it's that. A lot of clients just want to let you do your thing, which is okay, which is very, very good actually. But you also need to create that planning experience in such a way that it is fun. It's not as stressful as it sounds. And how do you do that? By going into the details of walking them through the process. Okay, after the consultation, we will go ahead and send you our event planning package. You look through the package, you come back to us on which of the package you're selecting, we furnish you an invoice, and then as soon as you make a deposit, we go ahead to send you your target guideline for the period of planning. In so months, this has to be done, that has to be done. Just having all that spelled out and walking them through it literally, so they can actually imagine themselves saying, okay, in January, we would have locked down this person, we would have locked down that vendor. My event planner has it sorted. My event planner has taken care of everything, and they just look forward to a fantastic time. A lot of clients have come to us in the past and said, okay, Bisola, people are asking me why I'm not stressed. Am I supposed to be stressed? Of course, you're not supposed to be stressed, because you have an event planner and you've allowed your event planner take charge and deliver on your event accordingly. Because anything that has a plan, anything that is well put together, it helps you to stay on track. Even if at any point in time, you may experience, there's a bit of delay, there's a lag somewhere, you can still trace your steps back because there was a plan from the beginning. So even if in February something was meant to be done, it's easy for you to say, we didn't do this in February, we are moving it down to March. So there's like a process, there's a plan. And always carry your clients along. It's very, very important. You can't just take a brief and say, my client has handed over to me, no problem. You just go and start doing things and you're not keeping them updated. It's very important that you communicate. Your clients need to also know that, this has been done, and also update them. So in that your target that you've sent to them, you're giving them like updates. This has been done, this has been done, this has been done, so that they can feel the impact. Bear in mind that your job, event planning on its own, is a service-based profession, and services they're not tangible. They're not something you can hold with your hand. It's something that you need to be able to either portray what the experience is going to be like, imaginary experience, or you just have to keep talking. You have to talk a lot, especially in trying to sell yourself as an event planner. You have to know how to talk. You need to know how to sell that service. You need to know how to make them understand. Sometimes event planning is like teaching a baby. Don't ever assume that your client knows something because you know it. A lot of people have no idea. They don't know jack about event planning. And they come to you and they tell you, okay, this is how I want my wedding to be. it is your role as an event planner to walk them through the process of achieving that goal. So you need to make them see how it's going to work out, see how it's going to come out, see how it's going to pan out. So especially at the first meeting, because sometimes we're tempted to just keep talking, and it's not always the best. You need to listen to your clients when they speak so that you can assimilate and take in all that they have told you. Because guess what? That first meeting is your only opportunity to ask any stupid question you want to ask, and it will not sound stupid. So if you listen to them and you don't understand something, that's your shot to clarify on the spot. Fine and good, you can come back later to ask something, but you won't ask it as plainly as you could have asked it. Also, in trying to ask or trying to get clarification, you need to do it smartly, so that your clients know that you're knowledgeable and you know your onions. They want to also feel safe that they've come to the best event planner and that you're going to make their dreams come true. So, making sure that you listen to your clients and also taking notes. Taking notes is very, very important. Nigerians are so lazy with writing. It's a problem. But you have to learn, because guess what? You are trying to present yourself as a professional. And when you go for a meeting and you don't have an assistant taking notes for you, at least even if you go for a meeting and you go with someone, that person needs to be writing while you are doing the talking. But even if you go alone, you need to be seen taking down notes. That's the way the client knows that you are actually listening, and you won't come back to say they chose blue when it was green they chose. So you need to take notes. You need to write. Your client needs to see that, oh wow, this person is taking me seriously. And it's when they see that you take them seriously that they start to take you seriously. It is how you present yourself that your clients will take you. So that's one of the things that you need to take note of. Recording a meeting, you can record though. Most times I write and I record. Even if you are recording, just hold that book. Even if you are not writing everything they are saying, just key points. Let them just see that you are noting down, especially the parents, the older people. They like to see that you are writing. They are still pretty much old school. I mean, you can take notes on your phone, but it's not everybody will know that you are taking notes on your phone, because you could as well just be chatting. So it's rude to actually use your phone at meetings. Drop your phone. Even if you need to pick your phone for a quick second, let it be really quick and drop it back. Don't be looking at your phone every 2 minutes when you're in the meeting. No, they're selling a bad experience. They're selling a bad experience. And yes, if you have permission from your clients to record, well, yeah, I mean, it depends on the type of meeting that you are having with the client. For a first consultation, for example, you don't necessarily need to take permission from anybody, because, and by the time your client has already hired you, you are bound by client confidentiality not to disclose anything that is discussed between you and your client. So there really is no biggie with that. So yes, you need to take notes, you need to listen, walking them through the planning process. And also your method of communication is very, very important. You need to be able to clearly communicate expressly. Do not sugarcoat. Do not sugarcoat anything. If your client tells you they want to drop from the sky on their wedding day, tell them what it will take for them to drop from the sky. Don't say, yes, it's possible, I can do it, but you haven't done your findings. It's okay to tell your clients, oh, this is a fantastic idea. I know a couple of people that can do this, do that, blah, 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 but let me get back to you by so day. It's not a crime not to know. It's not a crime not to know. So you can always, let your clients know that you can get back to them, and then take your time, get your facts straight, rather than give a wrong answer or a wrong impression, and you want to do damage control later. So you need to be able to communicate effectively. You need to be able to communicate expectations. Now, when you have taken your client's brief, your client is trusting that, oh yes, you're going to do a fantastic job to their brief. But it is also your responsibility as the event planner to put in your creativity to ensure that it comes out fantastic. It comes out great, because they've just given you the raw idea of their brief. But you, as the professional, you know what it's going to take to bring it all out and present it the way that they have, even better than what they dreamed, you know. So yeah, that's also very important to take note of. Back to the phases of event production, I've been talking about the planning phase pretty much. Now, when it comes to execution, execution is your on-the-day coordination. It's the day that all the magic happens. Now, bear in mind that planning can be as long as even 1 year, 6 months, 2 years. Yeah, I have an event that I'm planning, and it's in 2022. And we're in what? 2020. I've been planning that event since January. So you can have such a long time planning. But you see, execution, your on-the-day coordination, it's just 1 day, and that's your exam day. That's the day when all that you've been talking, and saying you will do, you can do, and they will see is coming to life. It's very important how you carry these processes. It's very important how you translate these different phases of event production. How you have managed the client in the planning phase, how you have executed their brief and brought their dream to reality, and even the post-production experience after the event. Feedback is very important. Following up on deliverables is very important. Making sure that everything that was agreed, that was signed, set up, tear down, all of that, follow up and make sure that everything is executed, everything is done. So it doesn't just end at the event day. Post-event production is also key. It all ties into the experience. And so you need to make sure that at every stage, you are selling an experience to your clients. Like I said, we live in an experiential world, and event planning as it is service-based. And so in everything that you do, you have to make sure that the details are spelled out and that you're selling an experience. On your coordination, for me, when it comes to execution, that's like the most important thing. If you get it wrong, you've missed it. All that planning would have been a joke if you do not get your execution right. And so whatever it is you need to do in order to ensure that that brief, that thing the client has told you, please, I'm allergic to grasses. There was a client that told me that she was allergic to greens. From the very first meeting when she said that, I listened. And when the decorators came, even after telling them, while giving them the brief, they wanted to put in some greens around where the bride was going to stay. And I was like, hell to the freaking no. When someone has told you this and you know it's important, you need to follow it through. You know, you don't want your client to come another day and say, oh, I thought I mentioned that I did not want this, and it was there. You can't correct that impression. You saw the bad experience. And we're talking about creating lasting experiences, you know. So your execution day, making sure that everything is on point. For me, my own insurance, my own best way to making sure that I don't come on the day of the event and start screaming like a crazy person is that I stay in my venue overnight, jeje. I stay there and make sure that everything is as it's supposed to be, because you can just think that all is well. You say, let you just go to your house and rest your head for 2 minutes before you come back. Band has gone to set up in where the cake is supposed to be, or somebody has gone to drop something somewhere that is not supposed to be. So you just need to find what works for you. Choose your hustle. Is either you be reluctant because you feel like you're the boss. Because you feel like you're the boss, you can't get your hands dirty. There are sometimes when I've had to, wash plates. I had to roll my sleeves with my hands. Imagine, I had to roll my sleeves and get down to wash plates just to get the job done, because it comes to that point where nobody cares what happened in order to get it done. All they want to know is it done or not? And you need to make sure that you have delivered. Because guess what? If anything goes wrong, it is you, the event planner, that they will call. People are so quick to shouting, event planner. I don't know. They are so quick to screaming event planner these days. So you need to come correct. You need to be on point. You need to be on top of everything. If anything happens at your event, you need to be aware. Someone is not muted. You need to be aware and you need to be in control. When things are not going as planned, that's not the time for you to panic, because it's your face that your clients are looking at. And the moment they see the slightest panic or worry on your face, it's all over. Even if the place is hot, you're not allowed to fan yourself as the event planner, because you are the person everybody's looking up to. So you want to be able to sell amazing experiences and give a lasting impression. You want to be that person that people remember that, this was what my event planner did at my event when this, that happened. This is how my event planner was able to avoid this crisis. I didn't even know about it until after the event. A lot of times clients don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and it should stay that way, because they did not pay you for you to come and bring all their problems back to them. You are the solution finder. So you need to be on top of every single thing. So that's for the experience you sell on the day of your execution. Even from the start of the event, I always tell people that even from the morning of the event, you start selling your experience. In fact, scratch that. After the planning phase, the vendors meeting is pretty much part of the planning phase. Execution actually starts from vendors meeting. So your vendors meeting is where you start putting things into place. Okay, everybody has come together. This is what you are doing. You've given them the brief before, but going over the details just to make sure that everything is on point. Going over the details just to make sure that everything is on point. So you need to go over and make sure everyone gets their brief, sell your experience from even the vendors meeting, carry it down to the morning of the event or days leading to the event, dotting your I's and crossing your T's. If there's anything that could have happened, you would have already averted, that. We always insist on setting up a day before. So, and it has always worked for us. Setting up a day before is important, because that way, if there's any issue, it gives you at least a minimum of 12 hours to have it corrected or have it fixed before, it goes out of control. So setting up a day before is important. Even days before. Most venues know us. We always like to fight for days before, maybe 2 days before, 3 days before. These are all the things you put into place to see that beautiful, cake dropping from the ceiling experience that you see. So you need to, put things in place. The morning of the event, your bride needs to feel, or your client needs to feel like you are in control. Your client needs to feel like you've taken charge of everything. If the makeup artist is running late, your client should not be the first to find out. If the hairstylist forgot something, that's not the time for them to find out. You would have taken charge of it, you'd have taken control of it. There are so many times that so many things have happened behind the scene But because you are a professional, you've taken care of it, your client barely even notices, and all they see is they had a dream wedding come true, but you know what you went through in order to have that dream come to reality. So you need to sell the experience of being in charge and being professional. Morning of the event, making sure that your client doesn't run late to church, making sure that everything that needs to be done would have been done before time, and that everything just flows in. Because right from when they wake up, sometimes they start to feel anxious. And if they don't see their event planner, or something is going on and they don't see you, it even gives them more anxiety. So you need to come with that confidence on that day and make sure that, you are giving good vibes. You're telling them, don't worry about it. Everything is under control. This has been sorted. This has been taken care of. So, you need to just come and be in charge. They go to church, make sure that they don't run late. It's your fault if your client goes late to church. Yeah, they'll tell you that. It's your fault. Even if they decided to take 1 million pictures, you should have stopped them. But then we'll come to that. So, making sure that everything goes well in the morning, even for your guests, them arriving at the hall, they need to not struggle to park their cars. And that's why people have car park attendants or traffic controllers at event centers these days. Those are the things. When you see an angry guest walk into the hall, you don't know what the guest has been through. The guest probably spent like 15 minutes driving around trying to look for somewhere to park. And when they come in and they push the usher, you think that they are crazy. But then it's the experience they had from trying to get to the venue. And that's why it's important for you as the event planner to come on board as early as possible and take charge. And if there are any challenges that from your experience would arise, you need to let your client know that, because you are going ahead to book this hall, this venue, they don't have parking space, but these are the alternatives. These are the measures we need to put in place. But then, you would have spelled it out so that when it happens that, it's something that got out of control, you would have already given a disclaimer. And if you have the opportunity to have come on board early enough to help your clients select, you need to have put certain things into consideration. Parking space is very important. A lot of people just feel like once they get venue, that's the end. Parking space is important. So down to the littlest detail, you need to pay attention because it is giving an experience on its own. So your clients walk into your hall, they come in, and you just blow their minds. And for me, I like to say that there are 5 experiential elements when it comes to an event experience or selling an event experience. And we have 35 senses pretty much. You need to sell experiences to the 5 senses: sight, smell, sound, feel, taste. Once you are able to get all these things on point, you've passed. Your event is amazing. Your event is a success. Once what people see when they walk in is beautiful, that's where your decor and your ambience comes into play. You sold an experience. Once they come in and the place is not smelling damp, it's not smelling foul, it's not smelling this or that, you sold an experience. Once they enter and nice, wonderful music is playing, they're walking into maybe a saxophonist or a beautiful singer, just giving some, melodious sounds, you've sold an experience. When they enter, the place is not hot, they are not fanning themselves. They feel good, the place is well conducive. You sold an experience. When they now come to the food service or the drink service and they taste. First of all, mind you, for food, you have to appeal to 3 senses when it comes to food. Yeah, at least 3 senses. It must look good first. Some people eat with their eyes. If the food doesn't look good, they won't touch it. it must smell nice as well. And then it has to taste nice. So you need to be very intentional in your experiential. You need to be able to sell yourself or sell an experience to the five senses, because once you are able to do that, you have automatically created a lasting impression. That was the event I went to, and the drink was so cold. People have said that. That was the event I went to, and the amala was smoking hot. People have said that. The music from that event was fantastic. I was on my feet from start to finish. People have said that. Oh my God, the decor felt like dreamland. People have said that. So selling an experience goes beyond just, oh, who centerpiece, who cup, who cutlery, put table cover. Nah. Even down to your waiters, your hostesses, the way the food is presented, the way people are welcomed into the venue. If it's a themed event, you want to, as much as you can sell that theme to the littlest detail, so that people feel like, are we still in Nigeria? You know? So when your guests walk in, they are welcomed by your host and your hostesses. They are themed in the theme of the event, and people are like, oh my God. And sometimes they even want to take pictures with them. It's an experience. They walk in, they get champagne at the entrance, take pictures at the cocktail area. Everything is well put together. There's soft music that welcomes them into the place. Depending on the type of event, it doesn't always have to be soft. You know, there is there are bites. They're like cute mini bites that people can pick from. They enter as soon as they sit. There's someone there to say, "You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, ma'am. Kindly take a look at the menu. What would you like to have?" They receive this first class service, and you know, they can never stop talking about that event because of that experience they had. Or was it how the usher or the waiter kept coming back to ask, is there anything you would like, sir? Is there anything you would like, ma'am? We have this, we have that. It goes beyond just saying, we've served food, oh, it's finished. We've served drinks, so it's finished. No. And even if something finishes at your event, that's not the time for you to tell the guests that there's no more small chops, sir. No, small chops is, even if small chops is finished, what do you have? Oh, sir, unfortunately, the small chops is still frying. Even if there's no more small chops, just say that it will take so number of minutes to come out, but we have this available, blah, 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 blah. You know, that small chops may never come out, but eventually the guests will maybe settle for something else. Most likely, most times they do, you know. But just coming and saying, no food, sir, no food, ma, no water, no this, no that. You're not selling the kind of experience you should be selling. Yeah. And now when it comes to events, there are different parties involved in an event that you need to sell your experience to. The clients, your guests, and your vendors. Now, any event you do is like your publicity. My boss always says, this event is your opportunity to sell yourself to 600 potential clients. 600 potential clients, and no jokes. You will sell that experience to every single client at that event, because guess what? You don't know if your next big hit is coming from a guest, it's coming from your vendor, or it's coming from the clients themselves. So you will make sure that you sell an experience. Be it the client, be it the guests, or even the vendors. You will make sure that you sell a fantastic experience. And that's how you create and you leave lasting memories with people. I have clients that randomly just send me messages and be like, oh my God, I just looked at my wedding pictures and I saw you where you were carrying something or when you were doing something. Ike, thank you so very much. I truly appreciate how, you get that, because why? You left an impression. And then there are people that have said that, do or die, all my bridesmaids must use you as their wedding planner. There are people like that. A lot of our clients are, in fact, a lot of the events we've had in the COVID season are clients that we've done events for in the past. And if we didn't do or sell an experience, we won't have those clients coming back. We won't have those clients coming back. So you need to make sure that at every point in time, in everything that you do, you are selling a fantastic experience. Be it to your clients, to your guests, or even to your vendors. Because we've had situations where a vendor says, if you don't hire this planner, please count me out of this job. Yes. They will put their feet down. There are some people there. There was even one particular vendor that we honestly did not even know who the person was. But that vendor was the person that said, it must be this planner. It must be TrendyBEEvents. It must be these people. And aside from just how you treat your vendors, how you are able to bring them together as a team to create something amazing also thrills them. Because guess what? That event that they did with you that they didn't think they could have done what they did, but because of your extra push, they went ahead to do it, might have been the event that got them the next 3, 4, 5 jobs that they got. And so you don't even know the reason why people just like you ordinarily. They just want to be associated with you. It's because of something you've done in the past. And to be honest with you, I've grown myself to the point where I sell my experiences effortlessly. I've made it a part of me. So you need to be conscious of it to the point where you start selling your experiences effortlessly. It comes naturally to you. So anybody you meet, anybody you encounter, you are selling an experience. Someone still told me that, was still asking me a few days ago if I was a fashion icon or something, because anytime we had to show up for a meeting, I always came correct. You know me, my people know me, my people are here. They know me. I can't be appearing at a meeting and you'll be wondering who is the event planner. Once I show up, you know who is in charge. So those are the things, those little details you need to take note of them. You might think it's not important, but they are what sets you apart. And so when you put all of these things into consideration, the 5 senses, paying attention to the parties at an event that you need to sell your experiences to, making sure that all the phases of your event, at every stage you are selling an experience, you will have and create lasting impressions and lasting event experiences for your guests, for your clients, for even your vendors. And people will never forget you and keep coming back to you every time. And so, guys, it's very important that we are aware and conscious of all of these points, all of these pointers, and make sure that we implement them. It's one thing to take notes, is another thing to implement what you have taken note of. You need to be conscious, you need to be aware. As I'm talking to you, I was at oh my God, I was in a quick meeting before I came to this place, but it is what it is. And you need to also make sure that your team is your team members also share your vision so that they can bear your brand mantra anywhere they go. My boss, a lot of times, can go to sleep when I tell her, oh, I'm going for this meeting, and she trusts that I will rep. So also other members of our team, when they have to take on responsibilities and deal with clients, we know that they will do a fantastic job. So you need to be able to align, so you need to take time, go on your page, go on your stories, post videos, post yourself talking about, oh, how this happened, how that happened. I think there was a time when I told the story on my page about how an event was supposed to start, or there was supposed to be like an entrance, and the vendor that the client hired to get confetti blast brought those ones that you pop. And so that wasn't going to work. And it was in that December period, I had just come back from another event outside Lagos. I went straight to my venue in Lagos, and I discovered that this vendor brought didn't bring what he was supposed to bring. And I had to quickly go somewhere else to another place to get that thing done. I did a video of myself. I was on a bike. I had to carry confetti machine under my arm and make sure that I got to the venue in time with the confetti, just to make sure that they have their entrance. Because guess what? Your client is not going to know whether or not their vendor messed up. They will just have it in their head, and they will forever be scarred that they had imagined a certain entrance and they didn't get it, but you were the planner. So you need to always be ready to step into any situation, like with your two legs, with your full chest. Step in, take control, and be the boss. There are some times when you need to step back, but there are times when you need to come with your superhero cape and show yourself, and you need to always be ready. So guys,